guys, today we're going to be looking at this thing. So this is called the Twist Cube, and I've always really liked this one, just the way it looks. So you may be looking at this and thinking that you need to learn some new algorithms and all, but that is not the case with this one. This is just a regular 3x3. It just looks a little different. But the way it works is these pieces here with the two colors, these are the centers. So you can see that, you know, no matter how you turn it, they stay where they're at. So you'll have 4 that look like that, and then you have 2 that are just regular. In my case, I've got the orange and red. And then you have edges, so here, 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 and here, and here, 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 here. And you also have edges that look like this. So these pieces in the middle. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, and then these are the corners. So you have 8 of those. 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom. So whatever method you use to solve the 3x3, you can use here. If you've seen any of my videos before, you know that I use just the basic beginner's method. So that's what I'm going to be using here, and I'll show you how to solve this. So let's go ahead and scramble up and get started. Okay, so I think we've got a pretty good scramble here. So you can see that it starts looking pretty crazy pretty quick. You just start moving stuff around, and it is a shapeshifter, as you can see. So now how you start is really up to you. My one big complaint with this one is I wish they had made the flat part white, the two, white and yellow, but they made the red and orange. And so I usually just start with the red because it's a little bit easier to see. I mean, it really doesn't matter. Now, if you're really feeling frisky, you can actually start with one of the twisted sides, and I have done that before, but that just makes it a lot harder. So if you want to go the easy route, just start with a flat side. Now, like I said, I'm going to start with the red, but before I start that, I've got to take a look at these center pieces, and you can see that as you turn them, they're going to get all mixed up, and you're going to be like, well, where, which side is which? How do I know, does the blue go that way or does the yellow go that way? Well, all you have to do is look at 2 of them. Let's just start here, and you see what color do they have in common. In this case, it's the yellow. So that means that I'm going to need to turn this so that the yellows are together like that. And so this side is obviously going to be blue, so just turn that one so that the blues are lined up with that, twisty shape. And this is going to be the white, so I just like that, just turn it so that they line up. And then the greens. Okay, now you need to try to be careful here as you're doing your red cross to try to keep, each time if you have to move, to get part of the cross up, just make sure you fix that so that you won't get messed up with your centers and then have to redo your cross. I've done that before. So you just got to pay attention. Okay, so if this is the way that all the centers go, you have to think, okay, so for instance, this one would be the red and the green. Okay, now I can see a couple of them right here. I've got the red and the blue, and I've got the red and the yellow. So I'm going to start with this red and blue. All right, so which one would the blue go to? It's going to be this one, because I want it to be up here between the blue and the red. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it like that. There's my blue. Get it to the top. But then, like I said, don't forget to fix that center that I twisted. All right, so there's one. Here's the green and red. Now you may be tempted to turn and just say, oh, well, that one's good, and turn it up. But no, remember, this is the yellow. Yellow has to go here, so the green actually needs to go here. So I'm going to turn this one down. Move that green over, bring it back up. Okay, there's the yellow and red, so I'm going to just get that one out of the way, and I think it goes like that. Yeah, that's right. And just every now and then make sure you haven't messed up your centers, so all those three are all good. So the last one is this one, and it's in the right spot, but it's flipped backwards, so no problem. I'm just going to move it to the bottom and get it out of the way. Looks like I need to rotate like that, move it up, and then don't forget to fix that side. Alright, so let's take a look, see if we have our cross done and all of our centers correct. Yellow, blue, white, green. So everything's good. Okay, so cross is complete. Next, you're going to want to do your red corners. We have 4 of those. And you just want to look and see the colors. This one's white and blue, for instance. So obviously that's going to go here between the white and the blue. So just put it there and use whatever algorithm that you use to get it up there. I'm using the good old R prime, D prime, RD. There it is. Here's the yellow and green. That's going to go here. And since the red is facing this way, I'm just going to turn it like that. Bring this side down, turn it back, and there you go. Okay, white and green is going to go over here. And I don't know about all of these cubes, but the one that I have is pretty loose, and you have to be kind of careful when you're turning it, or you'll turn a layer you don't want to turn. Okay, and last one is the yellow and blue, which goes here. So just put it under where it needs to go, and I'm kind of already assuming that you already know how to do the 3x3 if you're doing this, but I'm trying to explain it as I go. But I guess if you're a beginner, you could do this first, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend doing the 3x3 first. But anyway, there you go. There's the top layer is done. And we still have our centers. Just take a look there, make sure we didn't mess up. Yep, those are all still good. Alright, so let's move on. Now the next step is we're going to flip it over, and now we're going to do these edges, these middle edges. Now what's cool about these is they look exactly the same upside down or right side up. So you can actually do you know, the method I use, there's a left algorithm, so like I could make it fall left, or there's a right algorithm, I can make it fall right. You can use either algorithm for any of these pieces. Me personally, I like to use the left algorithm more. I don't know why that is. It just feels better in my hands, I guess, when I use it. So I'm going to go through and I'll show you at least once with the right algorithm, I guess, just in case you're kind of a beginner. Okay, so if I want to use the right algorithm, here's my green. I'm going to make it fall right. So here it is. And there it went. Now for all the rest of them, I'm just going to use the left because, like I said, it's I like it better. So here's the yellow. I'm going to take it left so that it goes right here. Okay, here's a white, so I'm going to put it here so it falls left. Okay, and last one is this blue. I'm going to put it here and do the left algorithm again. See what I mean? Sometimes it's hard to get it turned like you want, but there we go. Okay, so there it is. Second layer is complete. Alright, so we got the first and second layer. Let's move on. Okay, so I'm actually glad that this happened, because there is a parity that is possible. It's really easy to fix, fortunately, but because we can't tell if these pieces are right side up or upside down, sometimes you can get a parity like this. So if you're familiar with the 3x3, you know that you should either have just a single spot, you should have a straight line, or you should have an L. Okay, ignore the corners. Forget about the corners. I'm just talking about the center and the edges. So you should have just a center, a straight line, or an L. But you can see that we have kind of a half of a line here. So that means we have a parity. So all I have to do is just kick out one of these pieces that we just did in the last step. So I'm going to kick it out using either algorithm, and then put it back in using the same algorithm. Okay, so I'm going to kick it out with a left. So, and it doesn't matter how you hold it, doesn't matter at all. So I'm going to put this one down here to kick it out using the left algorithm. Okay, and now I'm going to put it back in using the same algorithm, in my case left. So put it right here, do the left again, and this is going to give us either the single dot, the straight line, or the L, and it just happens to be the L. Okay, so now that we have the L, we're going to do our algorithm for that. And again, I'm kind of going a little quicker through this because I'm assuming that you already are familiar with the 3x3. I hope that's the case. If you're not, just go check out my video on the 3x3, and I'll go through this a lot more in depth. Okay, so that gave us the cross, which is what we wanted for this step. Okay, so now that you have the cross, we're ready to start dealing with the edges. Okay, so you want to take a look, and you want to rotate your edges and see, are any of them in the right spot. In my case, none of them are in the right spot, and we see that the blue and the white both need to be switched, and also the yellow and the green both need to be switched. Alright, so no big deal. Just hold the ones that you want to be switched like this and do this algorithm. And yellow and green are now switched. So let's turn it around, do the same thing with the white and the blue. White and the blue be switched right here. Same algorithm. And white and blue are switched. Alright, so now edges are good. Now we want to get our corners in the right spots. So you just look at the colors and let's try to see if any of them are in the right spot. Well, this one should be white and green, so that one's not. Okay, green and yellow, that one's in the right spot. So, and obviously the other two are not going to be. So you're either going to have one in the right spot or all in the right spot. Or none. You could have none, but in my case I have one. Okay, so hold the one that's in the right spot in this orientation and do this algorithm. And let's see, I'm going to need to do it, nope, they're all good. Yep, I only had to do it once. So remember what that does is it leaves this one alone and it rotates, so it takes this one here, takes this one here, and takes this one here. So sometimes you have to do it a couple of times, but in my case I didn't. So you can see from all the colors that they're in the right spot, they just need to be oriented. So we'll do that next. So last step, hold the one that you want to be oriented in kind of front right. So this one, I'll start here, and then make sure you do R prime, D prime, R, D, and do that until it gets in the right spot. But don't forget, you have to do all 4 moves on this one. So R prime, D prime, R, it's in the right spot, but don't forget the last D, okay, or you'll scramble everything up. Alright, so keeping the cube like it is, I'm just going to rotate the top layer to put the next one to be oriented in the front right, and keep going. R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, don't forget D. Okay, rotate the top layer over, and just keep doing that with each one. And last one. So I just happen to have to rotate all of mine. Usually you have at least 1 or 2 that are oriented properly, but okay, so there you go. Now just line up your edges, or your layers, I mean, and there it is. So whatever method you use for 3x3, just use it here, and that's how I do it. So this is a cool cube. I really like the way it looks, and when people see this for the first time, they're kind of like, whoa, what is that? So anyway, I hope this helped, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.